What's up, everybody? Here to talk to you guys today regarding warm-ups and why I feel like so many people waste time walking on a treadmill or going on a run or something like that, trying to get the body warmed up and try to get the tissue temperature warm, and that's kind of what you see a lot of. I just think you're wasting a lot of time when you could be getting some things taken care of from a body maintenance standpoint, to mobilizing some tissue, to resetting the body and its joint positions to help you perform better in your training session. So I think this is a warm-up that everybody should be doing, not just people that have those issues. It just makes the body work better, more efficiently, right? So first thing we're gonna do is work on breathing mechanics, right? So this kind of calms the nervous system down and kind of takes it down a notch to get you to kind of relax that muscle tissue in order to kind of get those joints in position to really absorb and adapt to stress properly, right? So what we're gonna do is get on our backs, okay? Let's take a moment to just really focus on our breathing mechanics here by pinching the mouth closed, right? And taking some big inhales through the nose, filling our belly full of air. Once you do this about 10 times and you start to feel the tension come down and you kind of exhale the worries throughout the day out, right? Then the next movement is segmental rolling. You're like, what? I'm going to be rolling? What does that mean, right? Well, basically rolling helps us kind of, again, reset the body, and it's one of those initial movements we do as babies in our developmental process. It helps us connect left and right, right? And learning how to segmental roll is important to let tension go, because if you're tight, you're not going to be able to segmental, right? Meaning two halves, like separate the both halves. So this helps that process. So we're going to start with 2 upper body rolls, right? Here, hand goes overhead, right? You're going to look to the armpit, and you're going to keep that opposing hip on the ground as long as you can. You're just going to roll to your stomach. Feels really good. And then you're going to use your head to look to make sure you don't forget that. Look where you're trying to go. So I'm going to be rolling back the other way. So I'm going to look up that way, try to look behind that, and then I'm going to reach my hand, follow my hand with my eyes, and then just plop over. Boom. So you're going to do that 2 times either side. So then I'm going to go the other way. And make sure you use your head. And then that was, 1 time per, and then we're going to go, just to show you as an example, then do the lower half, right? Now we're trying to keep that opposing shoulder on the ground, right? So if I'm rolling to the right, my left shoulder is trying to stay on the ground as long as I can, and then I'm just gonna fall over with no tension, right? I'm gonna do that same thing the other way, right? And just after doing some of these, you'll start to feel really good, and things will start to loosen up hopefully for you. And if you find yourself, needing more time with that, try to explore that, because there should be a good separation between your hips and your upper body, right? So you should be able to see that visually, and you should be able to keep those opposing ligaments on the ground for long periods of time as you roll your hips over, okay? The second one now is a glute bridge, right? Because what do we do all day? We sit, right? And our butt, we're typically sitting on our tush. So you want to maybe bring our body's awareness of those muscles, right? Just by driving that leg up. So I like just a simple glute bridge with both feet down, right? We're going to keep both feet on the ground, toes pointed up, right, to eliminate any engagement from our calf or anything like that. We're trying to just get some activation through the glutes. And we want to time our breath with this one. So when we come up, we actually want to exhale at the top, right? And we'll do this 10 times. We're just going to keep going. Make sure it's a long exhale at the top. You feel your core compressing in and your glutes firing. Good. And then you're going to come down, and then we're going to be here, hands out to the side, right? We're going to work on the posterior parts of our rotator cuff here, right? Our rotator cuff is posterior, but our posterior parts of the shoulder, right? And our core, timing our core a little bit with our shoulder movement. So you're going to exhale, keeping your hands along the ground as you go up, over it, 10 times. And you'll notice you start to feel this heat coming, especially this one. It doesn't seem very hard, but if somebody has mobility restrictions in your shoulders, you're definitely going to feel this. and if you have problems with sequencing your midsection, like squeezing in your midsection. So you should have a flattened rib cage. Once you've got 10 times, you're gonna roll up to the front into a, into a quadruped position, right? And we're just gonna do some rocking, right? Rocking is very soothing to the nervous system, right? And you're working on mobility, especially if you keep your toes up. You're working on mobility of your ankles, of your hips, right? If you can keep your hips nice and even as you go back towards your heels, that's a good thing, okay? And once you get done with some rocking, maybe 10 times, then we're gonna go into cat cows. Mobilizing some of the joints in your spine, right? You're that 10 times. Good, and then we're gonna work on a crawling pattern of some sort, right? So then maybe we'll go into a bird dog, right? Trying to keep that low back as still as you can, right? Right, there should be no change as you extend opposing ligaments outward. 10 times. Okay? And then we'll go to half kneeling, right? So we're gonna tuck our pelvis underneath us, right? And both knees are on the ground, trying to get our pelvis neutral. This might be hard enough. If you're stuck here, it's gonna be very hard to push your butt forward, right? So really push your hips into more neutral, so that way you see your knee, hip, shoulder, and head, and all in one straight line, okay? Hold that, feel some tension there, okay? And then once you get good there, then you can start maybe doing some motion, right? You reach back, touch heel. Try to mobilize some of the front parts of the hips a little bit more. As you reach, you're gonna squeeze your hips at the top. Good, about 10 times. And then we're gonna adjust to half kneeling. So you wanna be on a balance beam, right? And I'm telling you guys, just being in a half kneel, right? With your foot in line with a balance beam, with your knee in line with a balance beam, the back foot on the balance beam, you're already gonna feel some challenge, right? And now if you went up it a notch, you can start to move your head and challenge your visual system a little bit, along with your vestibular system, to try to get those stabilizing hips to kind of just naturally turn on, right? We're working on reflexive core firing here, okay? Meaning your body, you're not telling your body what to do, it's just reacting to its environment, okay? Which actually brings up better results in terms of your sequencing of your midsection, okay? And how it should work. Taking off the parking brakes, okay? You're allowing your stabilizers to be stabilizers, your prime movers to be prime movers, right? Good. Good. And woo, all right, cool. So I'm already feeling pretty good. Now we're gonna get to our feet, and you're gonna do a little toe touch squat, okay? Just to kind of finish things off and keep working on that mobility. Right, deep squat here, okay? Hang out there, take a breathe, maybe use your elbows as some wedges, and lift up a hand, lift up the other hand, and then stand. This will reset your squatting pattern, especially if you've got squats on the menu today, okay? About 5 times here. Awesome, okay? Now we're gonna go ahead and then do our lunge matrix, okay? So I'll do a split squat, stationary split squat first, right? So it's not necessarily lunge, but we're working on, again, getting the hips mobile, right? Lunge down 5 times. Okay. Good, putting all the weight on that front leg. 5, good. And lateral or Cossack squats, or you want to call them lateral squats, whatever terminology you use, just do them, right? 5 per side, okay? Okay, we're gonna call that 5 per side, okay? And then some transverse plane squats, right? So, or meaning rotational squats. You're gonna stand out in this extended position here, right? And then you're gonna sink down towards the center, okay? Right? You get a weird stretch in this front part of the hip, or front part of the thigh, the inner part of the thigh. Feels really good, okay? Again, working all angles of that hip, good. Okay. Good. And last but not least, single leg deadlifts, okay? So we're gonna challenge that base of support being on one leg, right? Single leg stance work is important just for overall just health and just being able to be more stable on one leg. You're gonna reach out as far as you can, extend both arms and leg back towards each wall, okay? 5 times. Good. And 5. Awesome. So the warm-up is completed. Okay. It took us about 10 minutes to do, right? And you know, that's going to take you, most people spend 10 minutes on their warm-up anyways on a treadmill. Try these exercises out, and I guarantee you're going to have more success. You're going to feel better. You're going to be able to train more often because your joints are mobilized. Your tissues are going to feel better. You're not going to have those nagging, hopefully, injuries because your joints are going to be in better positions to take on stress. So try this out and see what you feel like. Go get after it, guys.